Shalom, and welcome to this presentation on YHWH's Timekeeping Lights, the Sun, Moon, and Stars, Part 4, by Daniel Fuentes, servant of YHWH. Scriptural Parameter 2, Agreement of Chanokh and Yoveliym for a 364-day solar year. We already saw evidence in Chanokh that there's a 364-day solar year. Let's just read it one more time. Chanokh chapter 72 verses 31 through 32. And on that day the sun rises from that portal and goes down in the west and returns to the east and rises in the third portal for 31 mornings and goes down in the west of the Shamayim. Verse 32, on that day the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts and the day to 9 parts, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its days, 364. We know this was the end of the 12th solar month that had the 31 days, the additional day, the sign. We know that this was the end of the 91-day winter season. Okay, the winter seasonal division. This 364th day marks the 91st day, the last day when the season is turning. So here we see evidence that the solar year, as tracked in Chanokh, amounts to precisely 364 days at its end, as we've already proven. Let us continue with Scriptural Parameter 2, Agreement of Chanokh and Yoveliym for a 364-day solar year. Let's go to Yoveliym, Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 29. And they placed them on the tablets of the Shamayim. We'll find out what them is referring to. Each had 13 weeks. Their memorial passed from one to another, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. This is referring to the order of the 4 seasonal divisions. Each season is assigned 91 days, which when divided by 7 days in a week amounts to 13 weeks. So there we see what the 13 weeks means. It means that each of these 4 seasonal divisions is appropriated 13 weeks. Each season moves in order from spring to summer to fall to winter. We already saw proof in Chanokh when we tracked the 12 solar months that the solar year begins in the spring. This order of the seasons has already been confirmed by the tracking of the solar year in Chanokh. The solar year begins in the spring season. 13 weeks times 4 seasonal divisions equals 52 weeks. And we're going to see other scriptures that require 52 weeks in the year. This reckoning of the 13 weeks is linked with the seasons, which are caused by the movement of the sun's position in relation to the earth. And I already showed you a visual of how that happens. And let us also go to Yoveliym, Jubilees, chapter 6, verses 30 through 31. Verse 30, and all the days of the command shall be 52 weeks of days, and these shall make the entire year complete. Verse 31, thus it is engraved and ordained on the tablets of the Shamayim, and there is no neglecting this command for a single year or from year to year. There are 52 weeks in the solar year, and we're going to prove it. 52 weeks times 7 days in a week equals 364 days of a complete year. This reckoning of the 52 weeks is linked with the seasons, which are caused by the movement of the sun's position in relation to the earth. The sun obeys the command to fulfill its annual course, bringing on the 4 seasonal divisions in order in a year and from year to year. Let us go to Yoveliym. Jubilees chapter 6 verse 32. And you shall command the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days. And these shall constitute a complete year, and they shall not disturb its time from its days and from its festivals, for all shall fall out in them according to their witness. And they shall not leave out any day, nor disturb any festivals. This reckoning is referring to incorporating the 4 seasonal divisions that each fulfill 13 weeks in a 52-week, 364-day complete solar year. So you have to have all these pieces in place, all the pieces the scripture has shown us in order to have the correct reckoning. Tracking the solar year in Chanokh, we found that it lasts precisely 364 days. A 12-month lunar year is 354 days and does not agree with the 364-day year found in Chanokh and Yoveliym. Do you understand that, brothers and sisters? And we'll prove it as we count. That a 12-month lunar year only accounts for 354 days. It does not agree with the 364-day year that the scripture commands, and we already proved that that 364-day year is the solar year, the 12 solar months that begin in the spring. This does not mean that we discard the lunar months, which is what a lot of people do by mistake, but we must understand that the lunar months, are subject to the command of the 364-day solar year. And we're going to understand that the lunar months have to obey the word of the Almighty. Thank you for joining me for part 4 of this presentation. We found agreement in Chanokh and Yoveliym for the 364-day year being a solar year. We also found evidence that the 4 seasonal divisions each have 13 weeks, and they make up the 52-week solar year. We also found that lunar months, chodeshiym, are subject to the 364-day solar year and its seasons. Here are the references that were used for part 4 of this teaching. I hope you'll join me for part 5 of this teaching.